Welcome to the Weaver podcast. I'm Sonja Wood, a mediator, conflict management expert, neuroscience enthusiast, and positive psychology practitioner. This podcast is for the leaders, the decision makers who already know that relationships shape everything: your success, your impact, your well being. Here, we go beyond surface level advice to explore the deep shifts that create real change in how you navigate conflict, communication, and connection. So, if you're ready to refine the way you lead, you relate and influence, you're in the right place. Let me tell you a story. And this story caused the loss up to $3.6 million. At this time, I'm still working as a chemical engineer in Germany, and I travel around Europe to meet our clients. I'm responsible for all clients in France, but I'm also meeting some clients in Hungary, Bavaria, Slovakia, so more East Europe. And I can tell you, even if close to Germany, neighbor from Germany, the culture shock is big. Even that close to Germany. And I'm working in an environment that is dominated by men, because I'm working in production with the big machines, the heavy lifting. And even though at that time I work out 4 times a week, an hour each, I still can't lift 25 kilo on my own. And some of the men help, but others are looking at me like, what is she even doing here? It doesn't make sense. And until one day, someone, the manager, allows himself to come to me, ask for the news. We were doing a project that was lasting at least a week or two, and ask how it's going. I explain the whole process. I explain the challenges. I explain the result. And then I hear him criticizing my work, not based on the work itself, based on how I look. And his frustration turns his focus not on the process, which is the work, but my appearance. And that leads him to say completely inappropriate things to my own boss, as she has beautiful blue eyes, but she can't do anything. Or some more sneaky sentences like, after all, women could do something too, right? And at this time, I don't have the boldness, the assertivity, and the leadership to say anything. And I'm thinking, well, I'm just starting on my job. My manager is going to say something, right? In front of the client, the manager doesn't say anything. The manager is not even here, actually. And I hear that on the phone. And once I go back to Germany, my manager says, get used to it. It happens. You have the good and the bad in any job, and it will happen again. This unresolved conflict costs a lot of money, and I'm going to describe you how and how much. Because I was curious as I was preparing this little cost test that you can see on my website. I'm doing a calculator that helps you to see where in your own job, in your own business, you are on the scale for conflict and how much it might cost you. And I was curious, I did it for me. How much did it cost me personally, and how much did it cost the company? Obviously, I'm living now in US, so I quit. Personal loss, approximately $35,000 in 2020. I calculated based on therapy session, back issues, resigning, and therefore loss of salary, and because of resigning, loss of retirement plan. And I calculated into it certification in conflict resolution, because this event triggered all of it. And the total of it personally is $35,000. Now, the company loss is most impressive. The company loss is based on disengagement and therefore lost productivity. My position was costing $600 a day. So that's average $200,000 for 1 year in 2020. And the other thing to consider is the loss of talent leading to the loss of clients because nobody else spoke French to support customers in France. And so that was an open door to all other companies that were doing the same job that we were doing, but had someone showing up there. So when you work with customer, the first thing you know is that it's good to show up. No matter when, no matter how, but you show up. At least it's a minimum, a call, an email, but you show up. And if there is nobody to show up, the clients are leaving. And this caused a loss up to $10,000 a month, which is over $3 million for 1 year. Because the customer were not ordering product with us anymore, they quit the contract, they went with the competitors. The financial cost is just a reflection of the real loss. Dysfunction, bad atmosphere at work, losing enthusiasm, motivation, going to work with cramps in the stomach, isolation, doubt, mental health, back issues, all of it. Some of my colleagues back then were even having blood pressure problem before the age of 50. Others were having knee surgery before even being 30 years old. When are we going to take it seriously? When are we going to create the working environment we can thrive in? When and how much more evidence do we need to get involved in managing conflict and preparing for it? And what I hear a lot is, yeah, but it's hard everywhere. Like, it's part of the thing. There is no perfect job. And very often we undervalue and devalue what we bring to the company because everybody experiences it. So it's kind of a normalized thing. Or because we need the money. And we need the money so much that we devalue the conditions in which we work in. And we undervalue our skills and our talent. And so my invitation is for all of us to consider, in which environment can I thrive in personally and professionally? What action can I start today that will help me to feel better in my working environment? What can I do today that will help me to make it better, improve it for myself first, for others too, and for all of us? I'll let you think about it, and I'll be curious to know what you think. I talk to you soon. Bye.